Thanks for joining the Law Office of Don Dennis's YouTube channel. I appreciate your support and tuning in. Today, I'm going to give a little bit of insight into the entertainment industry strikes. And one of the key contentious issues in the strike is revenue, residual, and royalties. So, what's the big deal? In particular, let's talk about the streaming platform. Everyone, meaning actors, actresses, production crew, wants to make sure they get their fair share of the revenue. People want to be paid for their work. They want to be paid for their name, image, and likeness. I was reading a story and it talked about the fact that the lady that starred in the movie The Nun, Bonnie Aarons, she's just filed a lawsuit stating that she's not getting her fair share of the merchandising revenue. And her attorneys are talking about the fact that Hollywood is engaging in basically deceptive accounting. In addition, I read another article about an actress named Mandy Moore that was in a popular show for many seasons called This Is Us. And she stated that she actually received a check for 1 penny, another check for 2 cents, and another check for 81 cents. Do you realize that it costs more to mail and print out that check than the check was worth? So, how can something like this happen? I mean, what is the issue? What's going on here? Well, you have situations in which studios are selling shows and popular content to their sister companies or affiliated companies. And in terms of valuation, the argument is that they're not really being forthright or forthcoming with the numbers. They're not really selling this content and these products for fair market value. And who exactly can challenge that if you don't see the numbers? So, what are some things you can do when you have these type of issues going on? I mean, think about it. When we're talking about streaming platforms, we're talking about things such as Tubi, a free video on demand service, or Amazon Prime, a regular subscription based video on demand service, or Disney Plus, or Paramount Plus, or Netflix, and a whole assortment of channels that I'm sure you're familiar with. So, what exactly can you do to kind of help protect yourself? Obviously, the actors are striking because they want standard terms and standard agreements to protect themselves and protect everyone as a whole. But you as an artist, what should you do? First and foremost, you need to find a good entertainment attorney that is familiar with the issues and that can keenly go through the contract that you're presented to make sure it makes sense before you sign it. You have to be willing to understand and rely on someone that will tell you the truth. A lot of times, artists come to attorneys, and I've seen it myself, where they in situations where they're starving, where they're not doing well financially, where they're looking for their next big break. They're looking for their breakout role. They're looking for the opportunity to change their living situation around, and they're willing to sign anything because it looks good. It's kind of like looking at a mirage in the middle of a desert. And in that mirage, you see a big buffet table full of food. But sometimes there's food on the table, and other times it's just a mirage. And the closer you get up to it, you realize there's nothing there. And that's what happens a lot of times when you look at these contracts. They look good from afar off. But when you start going through the numbers and start going through the calculations to figure out exactly what you'll be entitled to, if in fact you sign that deal, if the accounting is not up to snuff, it's really nothing more than a mirage. And there you won't be left with anything. So what's something that you can do? Well, you can insist on audit rights. Audit rights give you the opportunity to go through the numbers when they're presented to you to make sure that you're seeing what the actual books are. You're seeing what the revenue has been generated for the different shows that you're starring in or that you're acting in. Because if you don't know what the numbers are, if you can't keenly and clearly calculate how much money is made, then how do you know how much is owed to you? So you have to make sure that the formulas that they provide, because oftentimes in these contracts, there'll be a different formula for premium video on demand, a separate formula for free video on demand, and another formula for video on demand. And sometimes the studios pick which formulas to assign to different platforms. And if you don't understand that, if you don't have a firm concept of that, and if you don't have access to the books, you are destined to fail. In addition, you want to ask questions and make sure your attorney is positioned to ask questions pertaining to how will performance be measured for the show or the content that you're producing. Back in the day, when actors would star in commercials, they would simply get paid a certain amount of money based on the number of times a commercial was shown. Well, now we're talking about streaming and video on demand. How do you know if someone randomly goes to Amazon Prime and they choose to watch one movie or as opposed to another? Is it measured by hours watched? Is it measured by completion rate? Is it measured by social media popularity? So you have to understand that in order to get a firm grasp of how much is owed to you. For more tips and additional content to make sure that your business endeavors are successful, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for this channel so you'll know when new videos are uploaded and you'll be able to stay in the know. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.